I think it also sets up a different level of empathy and sympathy for women because you see them go through shit a lot more than we go through shit.
Yeah.
And then they still be like, I just want to be loved. I'm like, God damn. How? You still paying for a car for another nigga?
You see what love?
That nigga took all your furniture. Like your house is empty right now.
Look, all your seasoning.
Yeah, all your seasoning is gone from your crib. You still want to be in love.
Yeah.
How?
I'm just fitting. Yeah, I'm just fitting. I'm just fitting. This shit have been on my mind for quite some time. I gotta put the shit on the line. I'm just fitting. Yeah, I'm just fitting.
So let me ask this. Have you and Young Dro had a discussion about y'all being brothers yet?
We did talk about that, man.
Okay.
Not really though. We ain't talk about it, man. Everybody try to hit me. I've been hearing that shit forever, man. I done heard Young Dro back during my goatee days when I just rocked the full goatee. They call me Joe, the singer. You know what I mean? Somebody niggas be trying that shit with the Draymond Green shit now.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wouldn't take you there, brother.
I can see it.
I wouldn't take you. I wouldn't take you to be brothers with any.
I'm gonna pull it up.
You can't see it.
I can't.
No, you can't.
I can't
Why not?
link you to any other grown man named Draymond. Dog.
You can't see shit, man.
But Dro, yeah. Like I was about to say, damn. So y'all had Dro at the Nigerian wedding too. Polo Fresh.
That would have been lit though.
Yeah,
they would have got introduced.
Yeah.
But yeah, that changed the game for me, man. So for me, one of my biggest objectives, which is why I definitely, work so hard in my, in my family at home, right?
I gotta get the
like
right
that,
picture, man.
Is to nigga, get your ass up. It can't be that one though.
Yeah,
All the way to the right.
Not that one.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
but that's Draymond in the flesh right there, bro.
Yeah, that ain't you, but maybe that is. The little animated face right there.
Nah. This man,
I'm just talking shit.
He lying as hell, man. Trying to lighten the mood here. He trying to lighten the mood here.
I can definitely understand that, man. Because think about, like you was talking about with support. Like, in my mind, there's no greater support than the support of your family. Like, I know you, like, I wanted to address something that you said about a partner. But I think sometimes, it's just like with family. Like, I think sometimes we have to see people for their level of who they are, right? Yeah. So like I know you, because I know how I felt when I didn't feel like my family was doing what they were supposed to do. I turned to my family, who I like, the family that you choose, right?
Yeah.
Like your Aggie family, right? Yeah. So I think with support it's the same, because it's like, I know that your support level doesn't run into this. So I look for support from others in this way, right? Yep. Like, I wouldn't go to my mom like, Mom, I've been working on this goddamn crossing route, man, and it's just, this post is killing me. I don't know. So I know who to go to for certain levels of support. You know what I'm saying?
I think in that situation, you're looking for a certain answer, because just thinking about my mother is like, I don't know what a crossing route is, but you hungry?
Yeah.
You want to talk about where you're
that's
at?
what I'm saying. So I think
that's still support, but I just don't know the answer to give
I think we go looking for the support that we need, and we can go to different. We have different outlets. Like we talk about different friends. Like what you call Brandon say, these my friends here, these my friends
we the
here.
Podcast guys that act like friends.
We're not even his friends. We just act like this. So it's the same thing. Like, I got my friends that I grew up with. I got my friends that I struggled with during certain things. I got my friends that we did not necessarily the most legal things
we
with.
Can't talk about.
I got my friends who I've grown to know and love here in Atlanta. So I got my different friends for different things. I know who to go to for those different levels of support. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, especially with a romantic partner, right? Like with your wife or your girlfriend, I think unfairly, we want that automatic support on whatever it is that we love. We want them to support it, right? But I think we have to be realistic about the levels of support that we can still get from them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like how you was talking about, like your girl was like, oh, let's go see Othello. Like, because she knows what you do. She knows what, you know what I'm saying? I think with us being sports, we automatically assume, or we want it from our partner. And it don't necessarily happen like that. And I think then we just have to shift where that support comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
See,
Just to be fair, that's just my thought.
To me, with the partner thing, it's not even. It's like the mother. Like, I don't expect you to. I'm trying to write a book to know the right editor to go to, the right process to go to, the marketing I need to do. It's only just. Oh, I'm with you on this journey. I got you. Like, even if it's like, I know you've been up all night writing. You need a coffee break. You need something to show me that you support the direction I'm going. You ain't got no shit about it. But just show me that you you support the direction that I feel inside of me is the way to go.
Yeah, and I think that's a good like segue into like tying like my mom and my dad, because me and my mom, we don't always have the healthiest relationship. Mm-hmm. I don't have a relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
At this point, not even with my brothers or my sister. Right? So it's really just me.
You.
Right? So I'm literally just out here with the encouragement of friends who have become my family to stay on the right track. And, you know, my friends become my family.
Yeah.
Which is why, you know what I mean? Like, with certain things, it's like, you really just did this?
Yeah.
How do you expect me to respond when you understand, when you know, right? You know what I mean? So that's a whole nother thing. But I'm always sick, like, kind of like throwing therapy where I can. Because it's important.
We push it.
Therapy is lit. That shit's jumping. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't what you think it is.
Yeah. It's more.
Like, it's fine. Like, I started therapy because I got tired of the weight that I was carrying. I got tired of my own shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I got tired of trying to figure this shit out on my own, man. Knowing good damn well that there's some shit in here that ain't. I don't have all the answers, man.
Right,
so I'm gonna give this a shot 1 or 2 times. Man, I've been there ever since then.
Yeah.
My mom, I learned through therapy that my mom is 67 years old, retired. You know, knowing how my family is and things like that. You know, I'm not saying that it's a bad family. It's just I just know that we're not close.
Yeah.
Right. My mom's been in Atlanta on her own this entire time. My mom's never been married before. You know, my mom has some traumatic experiences and things like that I just learned the other day as to why she was kind of just straight away from marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Which I completely understand. Which also explains our relationship sometimes too, because it's like, okay, so that's why you have a hard time understanding the man that I've become.
Yeah.
Right? And why you tend to associate with me with certain things, because certain things I might do might trigger you. Right? I had to learn in therapy. It's when 2019 is the year where I learned how to finally meet my mother where she's at.
Yeah.
Because the entire time I'm trying to pull her up to get her to meet me where I am. When unfortunately, because of the circumstances, time, generation differences, gaps, and just the things that I'm into, right? It's just who I become. She might not be able to understand.
Right.
But I was looking for a certain level of, like, I guess nurturing. Still at this age, that was rather difficult for her to kind of give to me as a child. Yeah. Right. Still looking for that. But I told myself, nigga, I'm not about to be no 30-year-old thing with mama issues. I mean, I gotta figure this shit out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was over it, bro. So I signed up for therapy. That was one of the major catalysts as to why I did it.
That's strong, bro.
You know, but I'm like, you know, I'm not about to go into that, because eventually I'm gonna want a son one day and I'm gonna want a daughter one day, and I'm gonna have to be that example in regards to at least making those sacrifices and decisions, and at least to see what works. At least be that example, right? You know what I mean? At least, right?
So let me get my shit together.
Yeah, let me get my shit the best I can. Yeah, so I learned how to meet my mother where she was at. My mom has survived breast cancer twice. I ain't gonna put her whole medical history out there, but she'll be proud to tell everybody, because she do be proud to tell everybody. You know,
she survived
breast cancer twice, lymphodemas, rices, bone transfusion, all kind of shit. Yeah. And she's still out like she's 25.
She's still standing.
Yeah.
Getting on my nerves, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Go to the club together,
yeah,
man.
you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so I learned where she's at. Never been married before, doing it on her own the whole nine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we had government assistance from time to time and things like that. I can't expect her to understand the things that I know now, especially with technology in the picture. I can't just something as simple as as simple as technology, right? Yeah. I can't expect her to understand that. But there was a certain level of expectation that I did have of my mother to meet me where I'm at emotionally. Why would I expect that when I never really kind of gotten that from her in the beginning, from the Jump Street? That's something that I had to kind of find reconciliation with.
We talked about that before too.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, my family wasn't like a touchy-feely family. Like, we didn't hug and shit like that. Like, I remember, like, when I saw other people doing it, I was like, the fuck? Yeah. Somebody die? Niggas like, nah, man, I hug my mama. Like, that shit weird. Nigga, like, I only hug my mama when somebody die. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, that was where we were. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't, and we weren't even an I love you family. Like, me and my siblings were traveling. Like, they were I call them Group A, and me and my little bros Group B. Like, they were traveling for sports. I remember, like, when I saw them leaving, the Group A kids leaving their families, they'd be like, I love you. And I was like, we supposed to say that to them? Niggas will be back tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like damn, they saying like, not. Yeah, but we never saw it like, we should be saying this because you may not come back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We never thought about it like that. So it was certain levels of, it was just certain levels of things that we didn't show because we didn't know that we should have been.
Right.
My parents weren't those types of parents. And like once I got to a certain place in my thoughts about it, I was like, well, my grandparents weren't like that.
Right.
So why would I expect my parents to be like that? My grandparents probably weren't like that because they were only 2 generations removed from being slaves. And that, I think we talked about it before. Like, I know I talked about it with you. Yeah. Like, because then it's like, if we're thinking about it in a slave mentality, I can't show that I care about this one more than I care about any of the other ones because he becomes, the first time they want to punish me, they'll take him or they take her.
Right.
They hear me say I love this one and they hurt this one. You know what I'm saying? To show something to me. So the best thing to do is across the board.
Scratch it.
So it looks like this. Behind closed doors, it might have been something different, but it was the best way for me to show you I love you is to make sure you fed, clothed, housed. You know what I'm saying? The things that realistically I'm supposed to do, but we know it's done out of love because it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like they could not do it.
They could wake up and say, you know what, I ain't finna do this shit.
Figure this shit out yourself.
Yeah.
I'm 6.
Like just like last week, that lady who left her kids in the house for 4 years. There's a lady who's been leaving her kids alone for 4 years in a house.
But she just get up and go to work.
Straight years, or just like leaving like she left the crib, came back 4 years later, or she just like
she would leave, she'd go be at her boyfriend's house, she'll come back like maybe once every other week and drop shit off. And the kids was like the shit was just deplorable in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
because it was kids.
Kids don't know what to do.
Yeah,
they know how to make a mess, not clean it up.
So she was going to stay at her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was like, shit, he knew she had kids, but he didn't know what the situation was.
Yeah.
That's not showing no love right there.
And that's like the conversation of like putting people before your kids and all, you know what I'm saying? That opens up a whole nother conversation. But
sometimes yourself before your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because people like, you know, there's people out here, especially people who had kids when they were younger and they feel like I'm still looking for whatever I'm looking to do. I'm trying to get what I can get. And they living their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But shit, like, it's that thing of putting somebody in front of yourself, figuring out how to love people the way that they need to be loved, and like realizing like these people that asked to be here.
Yeah.
Like that, to me, that's the biggest thing. Like, especially for children, like none of them asked to be here. So to put them in a situation where they're having to wonder or look for love, I think is crazy. Because especially with daughters, that's always scary for me. But go ahead.
You know what's crazy about that too? Because like having a son now, right? I noticed the parts of me that I didn't have beginning to exploit themselves in a negative way, right? So, you know, Lyerica, she's very, you know, like nurturing, very just all that, right? I mean, I didn't identify with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, it's crazy because I even found myself even being jealous sometimes.
Because you didn't have
it. Makes sense though. Yeah, it makes
I'm
sense.
like, man, no nigga, you getting all all the juice around here, nigga. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Getting all the juice.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I need some love too.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was a thing though. I found myself even like slick, kind of getting a little jealous, and I had to check that shit, right?
Yeah.
She is so nurturing to a point to where like I may even consider it overly nurturing, right? To where it's like, okay, you doing too much now. Let his ass cry.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you there to help balance things out.
Granted, there has to be a balance, but at the same time, for me specifically, there has to be a check system though, for that balance, right? Because it's like, okay, you know, I noticed that through her nurturing and things like that. I'm like, okay, I ain't really have that. At least I don't. At his age, I wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
But I also remember when certain things started that just really wasn't like it at a very single digit age. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, like, you know, she does this. She provides that for him. In the beginning, it caused some
friction.
A lot of friction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, to a point where we started to collide. Right? This isn't about womanhood or manhood.
Yeah.
It's as a person, you know, having introspective. I had to take some steps back and say, bruh, nigga, why you acting like this, man? Well, he's 8 weeks, nigga.
That's a whole little baby.
You know what I'm saying? Like, 8 weeks, nigga. Like,
let this lady kiss on this
baby.
Man,
Yeah. Like, so, going crazy.
Hey, real quick, I don't want to miss this moment that just happened. You just said collide. And most people say collide in opposing forces coming and it's a blockade against the other way. You interlocked your fingers. In a sense of we came together. And then the introspection that you have creates that coming together to create resolution instead of knocking heads, banging walls, and then eventually going the other way. Because that's what happens when a lot of things collide.
It's crazy you peeped that.
I did, yeah.
Because it's like that's essentially what we were colliding, but we weren't colliding to break into pieces. We were colliding and meshing.
Yeah.
Right? You know, so you know, to this day, we're still figuring things out, right?
Yeah.
For the
and they will for always forever.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
shit, the crazy thing is, it could be your third or fourth one, and y'all will still be figuring it out.
Yeah,
because
each one of them different.
Because everybody, all of them gonna be different,
and y'all gonna be different at
every
each stage.
time.
At each stage, man. You know, but I had figured out something that I never thought I would about myself. Like, so just to give you an example, so that nurturing situation, I found myself saying like, lay off of him a little bit, like da. You know, and she's like, well, he needs this, he needs this. I'm like, in fact, he does it, but maybe not as much. Like, let him kind of figure out, you know, yada yada yada. So there is a balance in that for sure. But what I learned about myself was how much am I trying to control, and with what I'm trying to control, where's that control coming from?
Yeah.
So it's like this is coming from this. You can identify with this shit, bro.
Right.
So because you can identify with it, you're gonna take it away from your son. However, at the same time, on the flip note, there has to be that balance. You know, moms get into mama bear mode like shit. They won't let them fend for themselves a little bit. Just a little bit. You know what I mean?
But the deepest part of this, bro, is that you're taking the step back to think through that.
Man, you
because
have to,
so
bro.
many people is like, my mom, my dad did this. This is how it's supposed to be, and they don't think, yo, there is other ways that this child could have. You could have been
ways, and that's something that, you know, just transparently speaking, you know, like as a man, that I'm definitely trying to instill in my household. Yeah, that there's 8 billion people on this earth with 8 billion different perspectives. We just have 2 in this bitch. So you have your ways of doing things, I have my way of doing things and understanding things, but we are responsible for having that introspective considering we're both doing this together. Yeah. So because of that, we have to be able to take advantage of the fact that we're doing this together, right?
Because it is a positive. It
is a positive. Whether we got this shit going on, he's gonna reap the rewards regardless. Right. Right. You know what I mean? So having that introspection on both sides, right, and getting to that like common ground there allows for that maturation process to be way more efficient. Way more efficient.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it should be hard. I mean, just like anyone else. I mean, especially when it's new, unfamiliar territory. You know, she was a nanny for a while she was in school. You know, so I'm at a disadvantage there. You know what I mean? So I'm at a disadvantage there.
Yeah, she been training for this.
Yeah, she been training for this. You know, I'm like, it's a little different now because it's a variable in this that you didn't have when you was a nanny, and I'm the variable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy because, you know, when we talk about like what you buy your kids, I feel like girls are training for it most of their lives.
Hell yeah,
like most girls or most females, young ladies. They start training them for it because they like you see like they have a little doll and it be the doll that they play with all the time, right? And you see them one time without the doll, they be like, "Where your baby at?"
And they gonna run around the house.
Yeah. And you almost you give them such a sense of like, oh shit, where my baby?
Yeah.
Like they be like a real parent, like, Jesus Christ, where did I leave my baby? You know what I'm saying? Now they running around looking for the baby. Hell, you looking for the baby with them.
Hey, look, the simple fact that you tell a kid to go get a job or a young person to get a job, you don't normally tell a young man to go be a nanny. Yep. To go take care of somebody else's kids. That's more of a young lady's job.
Tell them to go get a job.
Yeah.
Because they start doing it. It's crazy because they like, I'm gonna be a babysitter. I've been playing with these dolls. Like you buy your daughter a little kitchenette. You buy them a little kitchenette.
Yeah, with them easy bake ovens going crazy.
Little easy bake. They got the whole little kitchen. They wash dishes and all. Like they're literally learning to be a homemaker.
Don't tell my wife that.
From 2-3 years old. You know what I'm saying? But like
beat that out.
She good at it though.
Yeah, so they start learning this at an early age, and then they walk into adulthood. They have children, and it's like, and then they like, you ain't know that? Like, nigga, I was outside playing with a ball the first 18 and a half years of my life.
Yeah,
that's what I had to get ready for. When is the ball coming out?
That's it.
Yeah,
and now it's
like. And I thought that was gonna be my job. I thought the ball was gonna be my job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was for a while. And now what?
You know what I'm saying?
It stopped bouncing. Somebody stopped throwing it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I stopped shooting it. Whatever it was, now I gotta be an adult.
Now you got a bad knee.
And then you get pushed into, here's a baby. Now you gotta, oh shit, where I left my baby. You know what I'm saying?
A real one.
And the baby that bitch laying like this.
Just watching your ass run around.
Nigga like this nigga left me again.
hey, as we start to kind of head out of this thing, man, I normally got one thing, but I got two things for you. With everything that you have been through and who you are developing into, who is that person shooting to be holistically? Career, acting, family. What is that foreign picture that you're working towards? Man. You like that foreign picture, like movies? You got me?
I like that. Let's see.
Hey, look,
every week you just
my flaws attract
you gotta just get this nigga a pass, man. Like maybe two passes a week, man.
I got my 2 this week.
For me, it's that person, that man to me is a person who has really taken the time to really figure it out. And I know that's a very, very, very vague blanketed statement. I've always prided myself on taking the time to say, you know what, bro, you fucked that up, fix it. Or you doing it wrong, fix it. And a part of that has to do with the people that I keep around me. My friends and stuff, mentors, good brothers, sisters, you know. So for me, that person looks like a man who cherishes his family and, you know, before God, you know, whatever's going to come of my career, both careers, right, you know, let that be. But honestly, I really just, for me, that guy looks like an individual who is successful in both, in his own regard. But for God, of course, has his family and building something that he's never thought that he'd be in a position to actually build, which is raising his own family and establishing what that looks like. You know, I tell baby girl all the time, like, we're both in positions to change the entire trajectory of our family if we do this the correct way, right?
Yeah.
It takes work. It's gonna take some pain. It's gonna take some happy days too. Right? It's not all bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? To get to that point, that's the most important thing to me. Like, you know, getting my next movie deal or my next, you know, commercial, whatever. All that's, you know, all this is God timing anyway.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, you know, like, that could be over tomorrow. But what's going to be here is my son, right? You know, I definitely always try to remind myself that there's always something that you could have done differently, but some things you couldn't have. So
you weren't supposed to.
By the time I get to that space in my life, you know, whether that's a year from now, whether that's 3 years from now, I want to be able to say, you know what? I trusted myself to be able to get to this point in my life through God's grace. And say that I've achieved my number one goal, which is having a family. All right, being that amazing leader for my son, you know, which makes me responsible for having those retrospectives, that introspective to say, you know what, man, I did some dumb shit last week. This is what you're not gonna do, and this is why. But understand that, yeah, he gonna do it. He's gonna do it,
and he'll know that I'm gonna be here for you.
Yeah, you know, so that whole forgiveness.
Yeah, just gotta have a hand behind them so they don't bump their head.
Yeah, that's it, man. Knowing that whole, you know, forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. That shit is not applying to my kid. Yeah, I mean, or my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, understanding that, but that's really all I'm striving towards, is being the best man that I could be, and actually being that example that I set out to be when I left A&T to go and be an actor. Yeah. Or, you know, for my mentees that I do have, like, understanding, like my god brothers, you know, David and Dorian, right, for instance, right, you know, making sure that I'm an individual that they're proud of, you know, but also through that, you know, warrants full-fledged transparency too at the same time. Yeah. You know, so just being that guy, you know, of course any guy is going to ultimately kind of say that, you know me, but, you know, me being as transparent about myself as possible, you know, if I can just make it, you know, to being a good example as a father and still pursuing my dreams and things like that, while also being able to provide a safe haven for my family before God, you're good. I've already broken curses.
Bro, you said at the beginning that I want to be a man that figured it out, and you said that was vague, but it's probably the strongest thing that as a man you can strive to be, because you might have the vision of being a Oscar-winning actor. You might be the vision of developing a company that does the work that you do, just on a broad scale. You might a father, but all of those are going to come with hurdles, issues, blockades, things that you're not going to see right now. Yeah. But what you're saying is, I want to be the man to be able to figure those things out. I don't necessarily just have to be the end point, the goal. I'm going to be the man that figures out whatever comes to my way.
I got to figure it out. Yeah. I'm not going to be a happy camper, bro. Yeah, I'm straight up. I'm not going to be a happy camper, bro, if I don't figure it out. And I do have to ask myself, though, because I had at the time I had a mentor named Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock? Okay.
Would have been lit. But
man, I gotta
actually, you know, came out of T, right? So, yeah. And I hit a crazy roadblock when I was living in Charlotte. Yeah. Nobody knows this except for two people. That's one of my line brothers and the woman I was dating at the time. Right? No one would believe. You know how you go to church? The niggas be hitting with these crazy testimonies. You be like, nah, nigga, that shit ain't happen. It's crazy, because I had my first one. And this is probably something that a lot of men just need to hear, because we're so accustomed to having the answers. Right? Bruh, listen, we in class, and this is when we had them had those riots going on in Charlotte and stuff like that at the time. We in class, and I was not in a good space, Byron. Like, at all. I was not in a good space. Everything was dark. Every single sunny day, like today was beautiful outside. It was dark as hell outside. Like, literally, it'd be like just dark. And I could not get out of it. I done filmed almost Christmas, ESPN. I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to start a business, little clothing line. I'm doing too much, right? We was in class one day, Kelly's class, leaving. There's a house that sat behind the church. We had class in the church. It was a house out there. I'm leaving the church. This guy comes out that we know is a little off. But we don't know what kind of off. If it's medical or you think you just off. Right? White guy. And he comes out, y'all niggers ain't supposed to be out here. You know, it's 9 o'clock and shit. Get the fuck off the property. Yeah. I'm going to call the police. At that time, I was a ticking time bomb. I just wanted a homie to jump over the fence. That's it. Right? That's it. That was my thought in my mind. Right? Yeah. Reactive. He goes
proactive.
He reactive. He goes and calls the cops. Now, keep in mind, while we're out here though, dude, this is me and her. I'm crying like I'm blubbering tears, snot and everything, praying out here to God. Losing my mind. I was tired of being in that dark ass space, man. So I'm literally, it's cold outside, bro. I done came out the shirt, done came out the tank, done dropped the book. I am hot. My body is boiling. And so he calls the cops, man. I'm out here praying. He goes and calls the cops. He actually did it. So I'm like, oh shit. So the cops, so the cops pulled up, but they parallel park. They walk over. What's going on here, man? I respond aggressively, not to the cops, but mad. Cause he just, you know. I tell him, I'm telling him like, yo, I'm out here praying, talking to God about what I got going on. And he says, whoa. You said you were doing what? I said, I'm out here, you know.
Praying.
Yeah, praying. You know what I mean? Well, praying about what? Man, I don't know, man. I just feel like, you know, I had this vision board, man. And it had 5 things on it. Move back to Atlanta, get a bigger agent, get a TV role, you know, get a movie role, all just these 5 things.
Yeah.
I done all these things except move back to Atlanta, and I don't know what's happening. Like I'm doing these. I'm trying to. I. He pulled me to the side. He said, "Yeah, man, let me come over and talk to you really quick." The other cop, his partner, goes to talk to him. Me and my ex at the time.
Are these white cops or black cops?
One is black, who I was talking to. The other one was white.
Okay.
They go over it. So they go over it, and the owner of the house or the property pulled up. She ran the church and she owned the home. He said, "So, what were you praying about again?" I repeated it to him. I've never heard anybody regurgitate the Bible, Bible verses like that in that way to tell me at the end of the day. Sounds like you are living a vision that you're taking all the credit for.
That was what I heard.
Right?
Yeah.
You forgot to pay your dues and praise God in this entire process, which was ultimately true. But when I was talking to this man, like all I saw was this white light going on here. And the only person that actually saw that too, my ex saw it too. It was crazy. It was the scariest thing I'd ever experienced in my life, man. Like it freaked me out because I never thought, in my mind, I felt like I kind of looked into the eyes of God or something like that. Man.
It's scary when you realize that he's real.
Yeah, it gets scary when you get that low, right? You get that low, and he sends an angel, and he sends an angel in the form of law enforcement.
Yeah, he sends somebody your way.
That's going to. I've never had it happen like that before. Because if he did not send him, I was going to crash out.
Yeah.
I mentioned Mr. Johnson because he told me something that actually hit home. He said, "Well, it sounds like to me, Kiana, you've been on this train of knowing all the answers and planning things, and now you got to a point to where you don't have the answers anymore, and you have no choice but to operate on faith. What are you going to do?" So for everybody that's out there, you know what I mean, that's talking to your peoples. For everybody that's out there and stuff like that, that's really trying to figure out that what's next thing, and you just don't have those answers.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of those. Maybe you're kind of in that position where you have no choice but to operate on faith and really see what it's about for you.
What your faith hitting on.
Like, see what your faith hitting on. And I was able to do it. But then I got to a space in my life where it wasn't so strong. Then I started to notice myself getting back into that space.
Yeah.
So I began to. That was a learning lesson. Like, you know what, bro? Get back.
Yeah.
Get back.
I say it's interesting because now going back to the statement that you said earlier about figuring it out, now that becomes part of figuring it out. It's sometimes I got to give it. I've done everything that I got to do. The work that I had to do, I did it. Now it's give it to God.
To be honest, I know we about to wrap up. I'm just tired of feeling that shit. Like I'm just tired of like going through that same old shit over and over and over and over, knowing good damn well,
bro. Like no bullshit.
Shit,
when you was telling the story, I was like, this is where I would have failed again because I would have jumped the gate to meet you.
He wasn't gonna wait for him to jump.
You ain't even got say. What you said? Say less. I'm across the gate.
It don't matter.
I'm across the gate, bro. That's where I'm failing. I'm at that step. He gonna keep putting me in these situations, and I keep.
One day, my brother gonna pass. Though.
One day,
he gonna pass one day, man. But trust me when I say, you know, you may not be that man anymore. You still that man.
I'm still that man.
All right, well, let me tell you something, man.
Yesterday, I was that guy.
One thing I learned in life, one thing I did that took away from, you know, a young lady in my day, right, was it's so much easy. She asked me a question. She said, "Why don't you just like stop, nigga?" And she was like, straight up, why don't you just stop, nigga? So she was like, so why don't? She said, wouldn't it be so much easier to just go with the grain that God is actually taking you on and understand that whatever falls off, it's okay? And I know that's a whole lot easier to say than done, bro. I know.
No. Listen.
Oh shit.
No. Listen. You don't understand how hard I work at this. How hard I work to be out of the way. You know what I'm saying?
But it finds you every time.
Yeah. And I know it. And it's because it's a few different reasons why it keeps happening. One, I know it's my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing you can't escape, and the one thing you can't hide from him is your thoughts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like because you know how people be like, oh, I prayed in bed, I prayed quietly, I prayed to myself. Like, so you think that the thoughts, your prayers are the only thoughts that can go to him?
Yeah.
The thoughts that you have outside of your prayers still go to him. Yeah. My thoughts make him say, oh shit! Oh, he ain't. Boy, learned. He still ain't. He ain't learned that. Let me see this. Yeah. He's like, you go talk to him. And I'm like, oh, bitch.
Across the whole
like, God damn. He was like, he did something good for 6 months.
Man, that's how that shit be, man. Because we all been there, man. You know what I mean? I'm still going through that shit too, man. You know, it's just differently. You know, but that shit be taxing though. Yeah. You know, and now, you know, we all got kids. And it's kind of one of them things where it's like, you know what? You know, one of my biggest issues that I had, that I struggle with really bad, was letting go. Mm-hmm. Like letting go of people, because I don't have family like that. Right. So my friends become my folk. And you my folk, you my folks. So I'll be taking shit on the chin for my people. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't always respond well to that. Right. So me compartmentalizing my feelings towards that was very difficult to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I had to learn, like, you know what, man? Instead of being so defensive, just be cautious and understand that people gonna be people, and also understand at the end of the day, like, how shocked could you really be? Because you knew that they were probably potential, like, had the capability of doing it. You just didn't think they were going to do it to you. You know what I mean? And when those types of things happen, it makes you question. When you actually go into a situation thinking about, you know how a particular person is, you just don't think that they'll do it to you. It actually makes you go in and actually reevaluate yourself and say, like, okay, well, if I know for a fact, homie is potential, he got the potential, you know, to fuck my wife, because he hitting everybody's wife. Now you mean to sit up and tell me he around my wife and he done hit it? You know, they be like, be mad at the wife. No, nigga.
You still be mad at him.
Still be mad at him too.
So
keeping
I thought
that,
you about to say
something crazy.
Be mad at you.
Oh, well, be mad at myself too, of course. That's definitely a part of it.
I thought that's where you was going.
Well, it's definitely a part of it. Essentially, all it is, and I'm saying that was probably a bad example. Essentially, what it is,
I was like, this is a great example, but it's a bad example.
Yeah, but essentially, what it is that I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I had to take some steps back and evaluate the decisions I was making in regards to the people I kept around me that cultivated those bullshit thoughts that kept allowing me to fail my tests.
Right.
Damn, bro, you had to let me go, dog.
Yeah, there's a lot of niggas I gotta let go. No. But it ain't you. It ain't me. It ain't him. It definitely ain't him.
I'm the good at on that shit.
That was a major piece, man. Laying that shit. Once I started letting go of that, like we talked about earlier, that weight and chopping, like the balancing that we was talking about earlier, just slicing that shit off and being okay with the simple fact it's okay to let this person go. Yeah. It's okay to let this person go.
Yep. Sometimes,
man, what they say, that shit changes your life
for a reason in the season.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but man, it's like we talk about all the time, bro. Like as long as you're here, you're gonna be either winning or learning. You ain't losing. You're gonna learn. Hopefully, you're learning. Let's say that. I'll say that.
Some niggas lose
because there's a lot of people that's losing, and they don't realize, but that they should be taking something from that to go back into it.
In that loss,
exactly.
That is the win for tomorrow,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, but everybody ain't. Right. Everybody's not taking what they should from losses. You know what I'm saying? So
Ariel said last week or 2 weeks ago, she was like, either coming out of a storm, in the midst of a storm, or going into a storm. But in each one of those phases, you can take something from it to help you move into wherever you're going.
Yeah, but to add to what she's also saying, at the same time, you're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or going into a storm. But it's okay to also understand, which is where a lot of people go wrong, especially I think black men particularly, is that also being able to recognize when you're in your harvest season.
Right.
You ain't in the fucking storm all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so look at it like this, because a lot of people look at it as like one step. It's maybe 5 years ago I came out of a storm, and then maybe I'm in a storm right now. Maybe the next storm is 10 years from now. But you are always at some point going to be coming out of it, living in or going to something. The
cycle of things.
Yeah. So definitely, I want to add that. I'm gonna figure out a way to add that to it, because you definitely have to embrace the sunshine, the meadow that you experience.
The reason I brought that up is because I feel like we talk about storms so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can feel that.
I don't just call my therapist when things is bad or things are bad.
Yeah. Right.
I actually call my therapist, but like, hey man, I ain't gonna lie, but I've been feeling straight these last 2 weeks. Yeah. So I've been happy as hell. I ain't never really taking some things kind of got under my skin a little bit, but I'm happy. That's a strong point. So that way he can help me cultivate. He'd be like, so nigga, why are you happy?
Yeah.
Right. He'd be like, why are you happy? Yeah. So that way I can understand that, process that, and begin to habitualize that in some kind of way. Not to say that when that storm comes, that it's not going to be a storm.
Yeah.
But if I understand, the seeds that have been planted of happiness and things that have helped me cultivate that happiness, it might make that storm a lot easier to manage.
Yeah, the storm then is only to help grow your happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna tell you, like that was one thing that I wanted to throw in. But another thing, I think people, when they think harvesting, like, oh, I sowed good seeds, so now I should be, all these things should be coming back around to me. Mm-hmm. Like, when that seed is planted, we go through the storm, and now something good is grown from it. When something good is grown, it don't just sit there. It still work. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes when we think, okay, now I'm in my reaping season. Reaping means get your basket and go work.
Yep. I just got the contract for Marvel. Beautiful. Now I got to
go get to work. Yeah. Reaping is the work. Reaping looks good.
Yeah,
that, man.
Hey, you see you on screen.
Yeah,
I don't know how many hours you were behind scenes, typing your roles, running through everything, getting the emotion. I don't know all of that.
Yeah. Bro, one of my mentors made it so plain to me. He was like, he said, you country. I was like, yeah. He was like, you standing on your porch and you looking out at your farm. He was like, look at that harvest. Now what? Now I was like, we gotta go pick it. He said, exactly. He said, now get to work.
I love that.
And I think people think, oh, I'm in my season of, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm in my season, and they relax. The relaxed part, that's all good,
man.
But now put your motherfucking shoes on, your gloves on, and get to work.
I don't think people can identify with the work, because when people think of the work, they think it's like having a relationship issue, right? It's kind of like, okay, well, we're not on the same page. We keep having a issue about this exact same thing.
I'm out of here.
Well, I'm going to work.
No, I'm saying that's most people.
Yeah, so it's like,
right,
oh,
man,
it's not
like,
true.
I know how to do this shit. Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, me too.
I need to work on not doing that, right? No, the actual work is maybe identifying the internal workings that keep allowing you to make that decision.
Yep. That shadow work.
That's the work that people don't really understand how to do.
Yeah. And that's why going to a therapist.
That's the hard part. And listen, man, if y'all ain't in therapy, man, I can hold you.
Hey.
Please, if you can afford it, man, insurance will look out for it. It's options out here to get a therapist, man. Like, it, at the minimum, at least gives you another option.
Bro, I was just about to say, and I know he usually asks the question, what's a dime that you want to drop? Like, because we, at the end of when we have a guest, at the end of every episode with a guest, we ask them what's a dime they want to drop with our audience. And I feel like that's that dime.
Therapy. Listen, man, like, all y'all niggas out here hard. Pause.
Or act like it sometimes.
Big pause.
Hey, they make roll sparks and blue chew and all that. But
yeah, man, like everybody's tough. You are funny, Wally. Yep. Right. Why didn't you invite me, man? Why you had him invite me directly, man? He crazy, man. But all jokes aside, man, therapy doesn't make you a weak person. Therapy doesn't make you soft. Therapy doesn't make you any less of a man. If anything, is going to enable you to deal with the circumstances you're dealing with, especially if there's a woman involved, right? Like, there's the only crime against therapy is maybe the bill sometimes. Yeah, I mean, that bill is treacherous. It can be. But listen, when I tell you that therapy has changed my life, it always gives me something to bounce back on and say, you know what? You've done homework on this exact topic before in therapy. For me, I can even identify now when I'm behaving in manners that I did before therapy and say, yeah, bro, you dropping the ball.
yeah.
Transparently speaking, like I'm so gun-ho on getting to that next opportunity, that next level of my life. Structure, perfectionism. Is that right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Those types of things to where, there's two other people I have to consider now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that transformation, I have to ask myself sometime and check myself and say, man, like, are you being too hard on the situation or certain circumstances, and say, and allow that level of thinking to where you're able to actually make change. Like, therapy has helped me take accountability on to a whole other level. People get accountability like fucked up sometimes. Excuse my language.
Nah.
Accountability, in my opinion, gets misconstrued with self-awareness. Mm-hmm. Being self-aware of something doesn't mean that you're being accountable for something.
That's good.
To be accountable for something means that you're aware of something, or something has been brought to your attention, but that's also coupled with the willingness to take ownership and apply compromise and or change.
That's it.
To help remediate the situation.
Yeah.
So me walking around, like, for example, just saying, yeah, I know what I did wrong, man. That was messed up, and I'm taking accountability for it. Nah, I just recognize what I did wrong.
Right. But what did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah. It's easy to say.
And the thing is, when it comes down to accountability isn't always necessarily something that has to be addressed or something that's implemented because something tragic has happened. No, sometimes, like I learned in therapy, is that taking accountability also means that, hey, man, maybe I could have done this situation a little bit better. Or maybe I, didn't, it could be a mistake. Or it can just be something as simple as just an acknowledgement of something that didn't necessarily go your way. Right? And actually applying that change and taking ownership of that compromise to actually move forward in a different direction. Man, therapy has taught me so much. Therapy has got me through how I wanted to process the relationship with my dad. Wallace earlier spoke on, communication, right? If I did not go to therapy, when I had that conversation at my sister-in-law's house, when he was in town, he had a medical situation and stuff, and he was in town, and we ended up going over there for Thanksgiving. It was unplanned. I was over there for 2 or 3 days. Brothers in town, and the in-laws over there and him. Yeah, it's my first time seeing him in a very long time, and I'm walking in the house, he's crying. I'm sorry, son. I didn't da 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 da. My mind, I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit, nigga. But whatever. But it was. Yeah. But we ended up kind of going through that space. But to your point, I was able to communicate with him in a 2-day conversation, right? In a very articulate manner. I got my point across. He understood my position. Yeah. And I also got the answers that I was looking for. Because my objective was to not understand you better. My objective was to understand you just enough so I can actually understand the relationship that I have with my mom. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. What could damage your relationship with your mom is that you may remind her so much of your dad,
which is crazy. And it's unfortunate for me that I would actually even never know how I would. Yeah. So all I can do is that it's, again, meet her where she's at, but also understand too that I know my mama too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know my mama too. It's like, yeah. So, but that could very much be a thing. Mm-hmm. Or it can just also be understanding where people are sometimes. It's no different than, you being an intelligent individual talking to a fool, man, and getting into it with him, about to run hands on him for what? About what? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not, I'm not saying that's my mom. Yeah. I'm gonna call my mom a fool, which is crazy. I'm not saying that, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you gotta take a step back. Gotta take a step back and understand what the situation is. My mama had some traumas, man.
Yeah. That introspection is constant because, your mom from your whole life, but then also now at 67 years old, I gotta know her where she is now. Mm-hmm. 5 years ago, she was in a different space, so it's always trying to think, all right, I know my mother has done this. Where is she at now? And do I need to reach her? She might be elevated.
Well, what's funny?
Do you think?
My mom hasn't changed in 5 years. Interesting enough, my mom is the same person. Yeah. So what I had to do was say, you know what? I had to grow. Yeah. Right, and say, to that point, let me meet you where you are, right? It's not to say that it's up here or down here. It's just let me find the lane that you're in and understand exactly where you are, so that way I can better assist in healing or growing our relationship. That takes understanding one who I'm dealing with. Right. 2, understanding that there's certain components that we're not going to be on the same page and relate on, and again being able to say, you know what, that's all right. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I gotta go back to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's cool. You know what I mean?
And I still love you.
But also at the same time, again, putting myself in that position to say, you know what, as much as I do love you and love my friends, or I love this person or that person, I gotta have the courage to say, I can't do this right now. Yep. I can't do this right now because there's other things that are important to me that I need to focus on in life, whatever that is. You know what I mean? This is something that just can't necessarily consume me because we're on 2 different pages and I'm the only person that's trying to change.
Yeah, bro. I feel like you are on the trajectory of being the man that you said that you wanted to be. You are doing the little things. You say you hope so? You don't have to believe it. Let me tell you. You are on the road to being the man that you stated you wanted to be. And it's going to be, honestly, as we watch you on the big screen, it's going to be amazing to watch. Because as we watch you, we learn from you, we listen to you, and we are able to add. And that's the value of these conversations. We are able to add a different perspective, different experience to our own lives to, at some point, at the right time, use it. So I truly appreciate you coming on, being as open, being as transparent, being as fun, being as you.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, dog.
I appreciate you, man.
When we said that we wanted to start having guests, it was 3 people that I was like, I got to, and I got to figure it out. And you was definitely one of them 3. We got 2 of them so far. I'm working on, Tim Schreiber. comedian.
Yeah.
Trying to get Tim. So Tim, when you watch this, if you watch this, I want you on here.
Come on, Tim.
But you was definitely in my top 3 trying to get out here, man.
That means a lot, man. I really genuinely appreciate it. You never know how people view you, man.
Yeah.
You know, like
Wallace
that means
views
a lot.
everybody. No, just playing.
Nah,
He's like, nah, nigga, you ain't special, nigga.
No.
I do try to see.
No, but the people that he suggested as guests, he views you very, very highly. Like he sees you as someone that especially people that he's known from college. Like seeing the people that he met in college, from when he met them to even when he left, and then into what we consider adulthood.
Yeah.
He's always like the people that he suggested. He speaks very, very highly of everyone that he's
You know
brought.
what's crazy? That's how we talk about Wallace. Respectfully, you mean? Well, it is respectful. I mean, that's how we talk about Wallace. Like for you, so for me at T, man, you know, Ricky, it was so many cats, man. Like that was just Aggie bred like that. Wallace is definitely one of those guys, you know, like, you know, being young, you know, no guidance, growing up as, you know, going in A&T. Wallace has always been like this, man.
Yeah, safety man. It's cool. Ocean. Look him up. Hey man, thanks for coming out, fucking with us.
I left my orange shirt today, man.
Safety man. But bro, we really appreciate you coming out, man. Giving us your space, giving us your time, giving us your knowledge, like giving us this transparency, like just a look into you. Like before the camera started rolling, the conversation that we had, the conversation on camera, and I'm sure the conversations that we'll have once these cameras stop. I can honestly say I appreciate you. And again, like we shoot this in my crib, so I I joke about the energy, like being in my house, and I can honestly say you've brought a good energy into my crib, so I appreciate that, brother.
Thank you.
And I just appreciate you allowing us to meet your people.
Yeah.
So thanks, man.
And I appreciate you for being you, dog.
No, man, for sure, man.
Appreciate you for being you.
Feelings mutual. Hope y'all learned something today, man.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't know how
there you
I
go.
had genuinely in these things, but
Oh, he do. You know,
Yeah,
you
man.
know how you brought us in?
Yeah.
He gonna take us out.
oh boy.
So again, thanks for letting us borrow a little bit of your time, just a little bit of your space,
Just a little
to
bit,
come
baby.
through and do what we do, man. And that's just talking. I told you today's talk was gonna be a good talk.
Special.
I told you it's gonna be a good talk. So hopefully you got something from that. Hopefully you got a dime. Hopefully you can put that dime into your bank of life and cash it in when you need to, man. It was something in there, in this whole almost 2 hours. Boy, it should have been something in there that you could cash into your bank of life and refer back to it when you need to, man.
Hey, look, and this one, share it so it can multiply.
Yeah. We gonna get some clips out here. We need to get them clips rolling. But like, go through and find what you need and send that to whoever you think needs it. So again, we appreciate him coming through, man. We appreciate my man coming through and dropping dimes. We appreciate Wallace as always, sharing his dime type friends. You know what I'm saying?
Good clean up.
And if all hearts and minds are clear.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
We
Share
didn't
all
forget
your social media, man.
I was just
I
gonna say, fuck with us.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
that too.
Definitely fuck
yeah,
with us.
you
Yeah,
gotta
do that too.
end it that way every time,
Yeah.
man. You came in with the fuck with us, gotta end with the fuck with us.
Yeah, but where
gonna cancel
where can they find you? Nah, not at all.
No, not at all.
Where can they find you?
So you can follow my Instagram at Keon R Mitchell. That's KEON Mitchell, all one.
Yeah.
One thing. You can check me out on my website at razim.com, RAHZEEM.com. You can
put it
find
in
some of
there.
my
We'll
work
put it
on
in
there,
there.
things
Yeah.
like that. My biography. You can look me up IMDb Pro, IMDb as well too.
Okay.
Honestly,
my man say he's working.
I'm not gonna lie. Just go on Google and type in Keon Razim Mitchell, and you'll find
Yeah,
pretty
see,
much
no.
anything that
Yeah.
you kind of want to know about me so far.
I'm gonna put that what, ESPN commercial.
ESPN, yeah, it's
I'm
on
gonna put that. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on our site.
Oh, that's lit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be dope. They'll be like, damn, he was like, how old is he? I was
Yeah.
like, bro, I was 23 when I did that.
Damn.
it's been that long ago.
What you 33 now?
33 now.
10 years.
10 years. Very first project. That's live.
There it is.
Yeah.
History in the making.
So go check him out, man.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
Go check him out. Go check out his website, man. See his work. I will have his socials in the description. I know y'all motherfuckers don't read the descriptions. So read the descriptions. Go check my man out, man. Follow him. Follow his work. Watch him grow.
Yeah.
Watch him grow. Again, if all hearts and minds are clear,
I'm good, man.
hey, like you said, fuck with us, man. We love you. See you next time.
All love.
This how I'm feeling inside. Every line that I